Thank you, Mridula, for Trisham Panchashil. So, we are again with another chapter. The book 2 of Buddha and his Dhamma is fully giving the details of conversions which Buddha had did with different types of people. So here we can find, as I explained earlier, the conversion is not of the religion, but the conversion is of the mind, the conversion is of the behavior. And the conversion is to think what they need in their life, to the thoughts, how they should change, how they should convert. So the part 5 is again in between the conversion. There was a period where the Buddha was called by his father at Kapilavastu, and in that part, the conversion was related with the some Sakya youths, and they joined Buddha when he returned from Kapilavastu. Now again, he started his campaign of conversion, and here, while on the way to after returning from Kapilvastu, he was crossing the Rajgraha, where there was a Grat mountain, and there were some few families of number. It is given here somewhat 70 families were staying in the village there, and they all were Brahmins. I don't know about this chapters. This chapter of the conversion of 70 families, somewhat things which we are not able to accept it fully. It's somewhat like that, but still we have to go through it and see where some things had been wrong or whether we misunderstood it. Let us find out. Here it talks about the 70 families of Brahmins, where it is said that Buddha wished to convert them, and wishing that he goes to the near to this village and sat under a tree, and looking at him, the people of that village, they come to him because of his appearance, which attracts many people. They just come and sit with him, where they are asked by Buddha about the details of their life. They ask them from where they asked them the time of their leaving that place, in that place, from when they were leaving, and they got the answer that from 30 generations they were living in that village, and their work was to take the cattle in the field, because they were living with the cattle. And about the religious belief, when Buddha asked them, they said that they pay homage to the sun, the moon, the rain, the fire. That is the natural resources. And they also believe in the sacrifice, where they are giving in the name of this sun, moon, rain, and fire. So their sacrifices and homages depend on the seasons. They also say that whenever someone dies between them, they get together, they assemble together, and they pray to this sun, moon, rain, and fire that the one who has died should be born in heaven of Brahma and should not escape or leave that place of transmigration. This is, it is all we can say. They were thinking about the moksha. What did the Buddha reply to them? Buddha says the way of religious work they were doing, like sacrifice and paying homage, and also praying for the dead person, he says that the way is not safe because it does not give any benefit. And to get the benefit, he said that they should become a true ascetic. If they follow him, the word is written, follow me. The true way is to follow me. We have to just not take as a word of what he says, follow me. It is, we can change it to listen me. Because Buddha never asked to follow, but Buddha asked to listen, to understand what he says, and then if they feel that it is for the betterment or for the benefit, they will follow him. So it was like to listen and to become a true ascetic and practice complete self-composure with a view to obtain nirvana. Means here he is asking them not to go for moksha but to go for nirvana. For that they have to become a true ascetic and to practice it, because without practicing nirvana cannot be obtained. So it was to obtain nirvana, he says, about the composure, that is to change the mind. Means the mind should be so balanced that it becomes easy for them to obtain nirvana. Then he says, he explains it by saying that the one who takes truth as a truth, untruth, who believes that truth is an untruth and untruth as truth, because as I told you earlier, it is the michhaditti, means the wrong way of vision. They cannot find that they cannot take a truth as the truth, but the untruth thing, they think it is the truth. So here, Buddha explains them, considering the truth as untruth and considering the untruth as truth is not a proper religion. It is harmful for them and they won't get any facilities or any profit by doing or believing or living in that life where there is a wrong way of believing the things or understanding the things. Then he again says, those who consider the truth as truth and untruth as untruth, false as false, then that is the proper way of transformation, proper way of believing the things, and they will get the profit through it. It would be a good way of living. So says that the life should be of a true ascetic, believing in saying that truth is truth and false is false. He again explains that there is no escape of death. Where there is life, there is a death. And here again, he says that the condition of all state of beings, that there is nothing born but must die, and therefore to desire to escape birth and death, there is to exercise oneself in religious truth. So if you want to escape the birth, here he is talking about the birth after that. We'll get to understand it in future chapters. This about the rebirth, that is of the mind. So it is a mental birth again, as it is said that when there is a nirvana, the mind is in such a way that we never think of the rebirth again. So he says that instead of that, you should always think that if there is a birth, there is a death. You cannot escape from this. And that is the truth of a real religion. And you have to exercise on your own. So this, hearing after all this Buddha's teachings on life and birth and death, here they understand that their desire regarding the birth in the heaven was a wrong way of living. They understand Buddha and they are welcomed by Buddha. After their request, they just shave their head and become the samanas, they become the parivrajikas and the true disciples of Buddha. These are the just introduction about the subject which Buddha is giving discourses to these people who are being converted. Actually, this on the life and death and how the living is, there are chapters in future, next book and all in this same Buddha and his Dhamma, we'll find these subjects deeply explained by Buddha. So we can understand it very deeply when that chapter comes in we are going through these chapters in our sessions. So here it is just the introduction, and hearing all these things, these 70 Brahmins, they become the true disciples of Buddha, and later they started going to the Vihara with Buddha. Now here, in this same book too, the last chapter will get to know about these consequences of conversion. So here it is mentioned here that while living with the Buddha, these 70 Brahmins, while moving forward with them, they are getting the thoughts of their family members. So, and they think that they would be in trouble. And these things, it is a hindrance in their becoming a true disciples. So, when these thoughts come in the mind, at the same time, there is a rain, and they want to find the shelter to make them safe from getting wet with the rain, in the rain. And they find one house nearby while walking near the roadside, and all of them enter in that house. Now, the situation is that when they enter the house, they find that the roof is not safe because the rain was pouring inside through the roof. It was not intact. So they were not able to protect them from the rain while they were in that room. The place was not safe. But seeing at that situation, Buddha take an opportunity to explain them. He explains by giving the examples of the same raining and the rain pouring from the roof, saying that he says when the roof is well stopped, then the water cannot leak through. So we are seeing it, but in the same way, if we are not controlling our own thoughts and acting or according to the thoughts, which is taking towards the desire, if the thoughts are not controlled, the desires overpower the mind. And so that overpowerance of the desire disturbs the mind. So as the rain is disturbing by leaking through the roof, in the same way the desire leaks in the uncontrolled mind. The Brahmins hear these words regarding how Buddha is explaining by comparing the rainfall and the desire of the mind. They get convinced that having desire in a mind without controlling the mind, it's not a proper way of being a good samanas, and which brings doubt in their mind, and they cannot move forward or be with Buddha. So they again start moving, and they saw that there were some wrappings on the ground, which are scented one. And again, Buddha attracts them towards these things which are on the ground. They also see that some fish guts are lying near the scented wrappers. And he tells them to notice this kind of things, the scented wrappers and also the fish gut. And he directs their notice to its ill order and added these lines. Means, because there were fish guts near the scented paper, how he compare it again with the mind. He explains them, he says, he who consorts with the low and the base contracts the same character as he who handles a foul substance. Means with ill order or the foul smell, if we go near to them, we get that foul smell, that ill odor. But he says that if we, in the same way, if we have relations or connections with the people who are not living the proper life of a good human being, we can say, it is saying the low. The low means who are not properly living as a human being. We can say that their living is not good according to the Dhamma. So, when they have the connections with them, when they have the relations with them, when they talk with them, their life too become worse and worse. And they cannot become a good human being. So, yeah, he says that how the people who are not good affects your life if you live with them or have a relation with them. It is like having a foul smell things near us, because the atmosphere also become very foul. The atmosphere also have bad smell. Accordingly, this condition of the people affects. If they are not good people, they also become bad. They become worse, he says. On the other hand, he says that wise men consorting with the wise means if a person are good, if they are very good, they are good people, and they have the very good character, they live with them, then it brings a good, all everything good in their life, like the sweet odor. It says that everything smells good, it smells sweet, and it attaches to them that always they will smell good, and it leads towards the wisdom, and they try to always practice the morality with wisdom, and they become perfect person in life, and they are always satisfied. So he compares the bad smell and the good smell, sweet smell, with the conditions of people, whether they are good people or bad people. If you live with the bad people, your life also become bad and worse, and you are never satisfied in your life. Whereas when good people, if you are in connection with the good people, your life becomes good. You become a good human being, and you are satisfied in your life. These two things, this example, we can find it in the Dhammapada also, and also in the Mahamangal Sutta. Later, when we come on these subjects, we'll get to know it in deep understanding. So, after hearing this example by the Buddha, these 70 Brahmins, they get again convinced, and the desire of them returning to their house is vanished, and they think that it is not good for them to return and have this kind of thinking in their mind, and so they just go away from that thought. They let go that thought, and they come to Vihara, and after some time, with the understanding of the Buddha's teachings, they become arhats. So this is about the Brahmins at near Rajgriha in Gritakut mountain. The next conversion, here it talks about the place, it's the Jetavana in Shravasti, where Buddha was reciting there, and many discourses the Buddha had given in that places for the benefit of men and God, it is saying. Gods means, again, I'll explain here, the God are not some unnatural, what we say, that they are something different. They are also men, but they call themselves as God. They are the men itself. They are the human being. They call themselves as God. For the benefits of them, the Buddha was always preaching in Shravasti in Jetavana. There was a place in Shravasti. It was eastward to Shravasti, and the place was called Uttaravati, where 500 Brahmins were residing there. Now, this chapter, in this, it talks about these 500 people, where these 500 Brahmins, they decided to go to this Nigranta ascetic. Nigranta ascetics were the people who were not wearing any clothes. They were following the Mahavira. So these Brahmins thought of going to them near the banks of Ganga. Who by polluting himself with dirt aspired to condition of a rishi. Means they used to pollute their body with all dirty things. See, here we have two meanings, like putting some ashes or mud in a body is one thing of making your body dirty and then washing in the Ganga. But the other way, where the Brahmins were thinking that whatever things they are doing in their life, that is the pap, they used to go and bath in Ganga river, and they were thinking that all the pap, that is the dirt, is being washed away in the water. So maybe both the things correct, because these two practices were followed by the Brahmins at that time, and now also we see that kind of many rishis, we see that they put ashes on their body and they live in the same condition. Whereas now also we see the Brahmins or the other people, they go to Ganga for bath and say that they want to get rid of the any bad things they have done in their life, that they call it pap. So on the way, they passed through a desert where there was no water. So they thought of finding some water nearby, but they were not getting anything. Seeing a tree and hoping to find some human habitat near, they saw one tree there and they thought that in a desert it's very difficult to find a tree. So they found one tree and they thought that there should be some people living there. So they rushed towards it, but they found that no life was there, no one was there. See, here we'll be getting confused now. So they started crying this in lamentation. They were in, their voices were in lamentation, that they started crying, that they were thinking that what should we do? We don't see any water here. We are thirsty. So it was a sorrowful moment for them. So they just shouted, they just cried, and it is said here again. See, the confusion things come here, where it is said that they heard some voice from the tree, and the voice was of the spirit, who asked them why they lamented so. And on hearing the reason, supplied them to the full with drink and meat. These are the things which are being told by many people, that where there is nothing, there is a soul, there is a spirit, there is something unnatural on the tree which speaks. Actually, when we talk of Buddha's educations, the Buddha's teaching, we find that such things are not there. Buddha talks of the reality which is present, which we can hear from some living being, maybe human being or other animal or whatever living being, we hear them whether we understand them or not. But here it's speaking about the spirit, which is not seen, but just heard. They hear him and that spirit asks him, from nowhere the voice is coming, and from nowhere the spirit gets attracted towards them, and that spirit provides drink and meat to them. From where the meat is coming, from where the water is coming, no one knows. But this kind of things the Brahmins were telling the people and misleading them. In the same way, here it is being told that the Brahmins were moving, they saw this, they did not see, but they heard the spirit, and that spirit gave them, where there was no water, where there was no life, they get even the meat and water, which is a miracle, a kind of which we never think that it will happen. So these are the misleading things where we do not accept this. But yes, this example is given here, and this example is of the 500 Brahmins. Now, the Brahmins ask that because they get the meat and drink from that spirit, they ask the spirit how the spirit had been there on that tree. And the spirit tells the history. These are the things which is included by the Brahmins in Buddhism, So, they have a dialogue. One is a living being and other is not even seen. So, but there is a dialogue. And the spirit tells its story, where he says that before becoming a spirit, he was a person. And he was present at the assembly of priests in Shravasti. When Sudatta had bestowed the garden on the Buddha, means the Sudatta, that is the Anathapindaka, we very well know him as Anathapindaka, is the Sudatta, who gives this Jetvana, who buys the Jetvana and donate it to the Buddha. So it says that he was present in the assembly of the priest at Shravasti, where he had remained all night listening to the Lord Dhamma and having filled his drinking cup with water as he went and bestowed it in charity among the priests. See how Brahmin is telling here about the situation, that he was there at the time of Shravasti and he was listening to Dhamma, but he is telling about the situation there, that when he was there, he was listening to Dhamma and he was donating the water to the people present there. Okay, this is a good thing. He tells that it happened, it must have happened, and it happens many times that the people who are present in such kind of assemblies or in such kind of programs, they donate some things, and maybe this person must have given the water to the people who were present there. But he tells about the next day when he returned from the Buddha's listening to the Buddha's talk on Dhamma. In the morning when he returns to his house, he says that his wife was in anger. She was very angry with him because he did not return at night. And he asked him what was the reason, why he was so irritating, why was he so annoyed that he did not return at night to his house and stayed all night away. He says that he was not annoyed, he was not irritated, but he was listening to the preachings of Buddha at Jetvana. Listening to this, his wife start abusing the Buddha. See, here it comes the situation where he talks that his wife was very angry with the Buddha because Buddha was misleading them according to her. So he says that because of this, his wife's thinking, he also thinks the same. Means after listening to Dhamma also, he says that yes, Buddha was misleading because his wife said that. So he says that because he disbelieved the Buddha's Dhamma, he disbelieved the teachings, so he became the spirit. He was born as a spirit. Means these are the things which have been included in the in the teachings of Buddha. This situation and the condition of Brahmins, how they become the spirit even after listening to the Buddha's talk. So here he says that because he was not such confident to understand the Buddha's teaching, and because he did not understand properly, he doubted Buddha. He said that Buddha is misleading according to his wife. He was born as a spirit. And after becoming a spirit, he started living in the tree in a desert, and he was in such a position to provide meat and water to the people who would ask them. Don't know from where this spirit has brought that meat and from where he had brought that water. So he again explains sacrifices and such services are sources of misery day and night, a continual burden and anxiety. He says that full day and night is a misery because it's full of sorrow. We are not understanding, we are not properly living the day, we are not properly living at night. It's always misery, it's always full of sorrow. So, such kind of services and sacrifices are needed to overcome this misery and sorrows. So he says, to escape sorrow and destroy the elements of the body, a man should attain the law of Buddha and arrive at deliverance from all worldly rules of religion, that is the world rishis. Now he says here that if we want to escape with these sorrows and also destroy the body, because I don't know whether they are talking about the spirit with the body or not, but they say the elements of the body. Obviously, yes, the elements of the bodies are there. We had earlier talked also, and in future also we'll talk it in detail. So they have been destroyed, it is said, but according to the Buddha, they are not destroyed. They convert it to another form. So here he is talking, because it's the Brahmins' words, we can understand here how it is being misleading to us, that the elements of the body are destroyed. And he says if we want to escape from all these things, then we should listen to the Buddha, his Dhamma, and become a good rishis. Now, these 500 Brahmins, After hearing these words, resolves themselves to go to Shravasti. Now they think of going to Shravasti instead of going to Nigrode Rishi, near the Ganga. They wanted to go to Shravasti, to the place where the Buddha was, and having explained the object of the visit, they went there and they told the Buddha why they visited him, and the Buddha explained them. Where he says, although man goes naked and tangled hair, although he clothes himself with a few leaves or garments of bark, though he covers himself with dirt and sleeps on the stone, what use is this in getting rid of impure thoughts? See how he explains the Buddha real teachings coming here now. Earlier, don't know, we doubt whether it was real thought of Buddha or not, because it was explained by the Brahmin, the spirit also. So here, Buddha's real talk come here where he says that whether a man is naked, he's talking about the Negro people who were the followers of Mahavira, whether people are naked or they are having the tangled hair or they are wearing a clothes, or some people they wear the bark of the tree, they cover themselves with the leaves, some cover themselves with the mud and the dirt, some sleep on the stone, but everything is physical. The body from outside it is covered. So Buddha asked the question, how can covering the body or not covering the body helps to get rid of the impure thoughts? Means everything which is happening is on the body, outside the body, but the thoughts are as it is. Nothing is affected by what you are wearing or what you are not wearing, how your body is. It is not affecting the thoughts of your mind. It's remain as it is. If it is impure, it remains impure. So yeah, the thoughts are there, the impure thoughts are there, they are not affected by anything what you do on your body. So he says, but he who neither contends or kills or destroys by fire, who desires not to get the victory, who is moved by goodwill towards all the world, there is no ground in such a case for ill will or hate. He is very clear here telling that if our mind is without improper thoughts, we are controlling our mind by not killing others, not destroying anyone. We don't have any desire for even the victory. We are not having desire. Every time we have a good will towards others, then there won't be any place for ill will or hate, or no impurity would be there in your mind. So he clearly talks here about the making the thoughts pure instead of making the body pure by going in the Gangas, taking bath, or protecting the body from other things by using different things. He says, work on the mind to make the impure mind pure. The thought should be pure. Now, when this is they all heard, to sacrifice to spirit in other order to find peace, or after his life, expecting reward his happiness is not one quarter of that man's who pay homage to the good. So here, is don't know whether these are the words of the Buddha or not. It is said to sacrifice the spirits means to become a spirit. We have to sacrifice that in order to find peace. Okay, after his life, this reward, expecting reward, this is the expectations. Means we say we have to do something. If the body should not become a spirit, or their soul should not wander here and there, it is told by the Brahmins that you should do some rituals. So to escape from that, it is escape from all these things. They say it. They are doing some rituals, and here Buddha says we don't have to do such kind of things, but we have to real homage. If you have to pay, you have to do the good things. The mind should be very pure. So we are taking in this way, you know. So here it is said, he who is ever intent on good conduct and due reverence. This is Buddha's again. And due reverence to others, who always venerates old age, for happy consequences increasingly attend that man, beauty and strength, and life and peace. This is what we called Ashirvad Gatha, you know. It is said, in four things you will get it. So Buddha says that if you follow the good path, if you have a good conduct, your behavior is good, your life is good. If you respect the old people, take care of the old people. Buddha always talk about the old people, you know, who are not able to take care of themselves. If you take care of themselves, if you respect them, you venerate them, then four things will come in your life. And that is, here it is said, beauty, strength, life and peace. I can say some doubt is here again, because talking of beauty, in Pali it is said Vanna. Vanna Bala Vanna Sukhang, what they say? Chattaro Dhamma Vadanti, Ayu Vannu Sukhang Balanti. Ayu is life, Vanna is beauty, Sukh means peace, and Bal is strength. In Pali it is said, Ayu Vanno Sukhang Balanti. But I'm out of this, I'm going and telling you something. We had read from Purana. You must be knowing that Purana, that are the text of the Hindu culture. This Puran, there it is said, Ayu Pradnya Sukhang Balanti. The people who are not following the proper way of living, they talk of Pradnya means the wisdom. Instead of beauty, they are talking about the wisdom. So they say, Ayu life, Pradnya is wisdom, Sukh is peace, and strength is Bal. So in Puran it is said, it is given the word wisdom. But in Buddhism, they are converting it to beauty, where Buddha is giving more importance to wisdom than beauty. So how come it is changed? There is a question mark here. We, the researchers, we are thinking, especially me and Vijaya Maitreya Bhikkhuni, we are thinking how this word Pradnya was converted to Vanna in Pali, as it was in Sanskrit given as wisdom, where they are never using that word in their life, but Buddha talks of wisdom, Buddha talks of Pradnya. So this word has to be here. So we are trying to say that instead of beauty, because inner beauty increases the wisdom within you. It does not talk about the outer beauty at all. So these four things, there is a question mark here where I am talking about instead of beauty, it should be wisdom, because it is, I don't know from where it is taken, but it's not, it's there in the Puran. Now here again the question arises, these 500 Brahmins go and listen to Buddha, that how they should purify their mind. But the last sentence is again confusion. Here it is said, on hearing this from her husband, the wife become reconciled. From where the wife has come, where the husband has told, don't know. You know, so this 500 people, Brahmins are going to Buddha, they are hearing whether the spirit is going with them or not, or whether the spirit is standing to his wife after death. Nothing is clear, but last sentence is there that the wife, who was very angry at the time when that the spirit, when he was alive, when he was a human being, he talked with his wife about the teachings of Buddha, and she got very angry and she said that Buddha is misleading. But here, when she was told by her husband, don't know, but the talk was given by the Buddha. So some confusing things are also there in this text. So we have to understand it. Don't know from where this wife is coming and from where how she is accepting the Buddha's teachings, but we can say here that while going, see, we have to interpret this kind of text where we can say that when these 500 Brahmins were left that place of desert after hearing, whether it was spirit or not, we don't know. Maybe they must have met some person, because there was a tree. There is a possibility that of some person walking through there and they met with him, and he must be having something. And while returning, they met with his wife and they asked her to come to Buddha and listen about it. And after hearing the Buddha's talk, she must have been convinced about this. So there may be any possibility, but the reality we have to understand. We don't have to imagine things which are unrealistic, because in the same chapter, Buddha told that accept the truth as truth and false as false. So it's on our part how we take it as it is. We have to interpret, and also we have to understand what really must have happened, or instead of that, we just concentrate on the teachings of Buddha, what he is telling to us, instead of the incidences which are explained here. The incidences are not that much important than the teachings of the Buddha. So I stop here and conclude here. I hope I was able to make you understand the things what the Buddha wanted to tell us and the situation of conversion. Thank you, Jai Bhim, Namo Buddha.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bhanteji.
Bhanteji.
Yeah, yeah, Bharti, Jai Bhim.
Why angry Bhante?
Who?
Buddha wife.
No, not Buddha wife, spirit's wife. Here we are talking about the spirit's wife, not the Buddha's wife. Buddha did not have wife. It was Siddhartha's wife. That also we have to be very clear, Bharti. Okay, we never should say that she was the Buddha's wife. Okay? It was about the spirit. They are giving the incidents about, telling about the spirit who is unseen. Yes.
Okay, Bhante. And you said about good man and bad man.
Yes.
So it is possible to see good man and bad man. So if you have good thought, whoever is surrounding to you, they are become a good man. If you have bad thought, whoever surrounding you, it will become
Yes.
bad man. It's
So,
true.
hmm, do you
So
want to?
how is it possible to good man and bad man?
It is totally depending on the behavior. Those who follow the Dhamma are the good men, we can say, because they are having the good thoughts. If they have the
Anybody
good
not
thoughts,
aware
they
about
behave.
if anybody not aware about Dhamma, they are a bad man.
It is not like that. That Dhamma is. We are giving the definition of Dhamma as good thoughts. Okay, the good teachings. People not aware of Dhamma does not mean they are not having the good thoughts. But we say those who are having the good thoughts, even though they don't know whether it is Dhamma or not, we say that it is Dhamma because they are the teachings of Buddha. Buddha says people, Buddha's teachings, Buddha's Dhamma says that a human being should have good thoughts in their life. Their behavior should be good. Then only we can say that he is a good man. See, that's why in earlier chapter I told you, person belonging to any religion, any caste, but they are good human beings, then they are Buddhist. We believe that they are Buddhist because they are using their mind. It does not mean that they are believing in Buddha, they are believing in Dhamma, but their behavior is of a good human being. They later get to know that yes, I was believing Buddha, I was following Buddha's teachings. They don't know. When we tell them that Buddha told this kind of things, then they get to understand, oh, we are really following him. We are really following the teachings of Buddha, but we didn't know. So it is not like that after knowing Dhamma only you become a good. Whatever is taught by our parents at home, the parents may not be knowing the teachings of Buddha, but they try to make their children a good human being. They become a good human being by their behavior, by their culture. Okay?
Okay.
Are you confused, Bharati?
No.
Okay.
Thank you, Banteji.
Yes. Thank you, Bateji. Yeah.
I just had
Anything
one
else?
question.
Yeah.
Please mute
Please
yourself.
mute yourselves.
Yeah. Bharati.
Bharati,
Mute பண்ணிக்கோங்க.
mute பண்ணிக்கோங்க.
So I had one question.
One question.
This
Yes.
they were there Brahmins during the time of Buddha, because someone has said in the messages that there were no Brahmins during the Buddha's time.
See, Brahmins, if they were not there, if we say, then who were they? Who were present at the time of Buddha? Because I know the person who is raising this question must be the follower of science journey. They are the one who are saying there were no Brahmins, there was no caste system. But there are many incidences from that time, you know. This word is coming, people of different caste and different varnas were there at that time. Yes, it is true that Buddhism was as a Saman culture, not
Yes.
as a Buddhist, but as a Saman culture was there already before Buddha also. Okay, but we can't say that they were not people of by this name. That Brahmins were not there,
Yes.
or Shudras were not there, or untouchables were not there. The next conversion we'll get to know about the other people who were not Brahmins.
Yes.
You know? Yes. So, yes, obviously they were there. Because we have the history where We know from whom the Siddhartha got the knowledge when he was a child. Who taught them? So they were there and they were the one who were teaching.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I have one more question
Yes.
if you have the time.
Yeah,
So
yes,
here
no
in this
problem.
book, in this chapter, it talks about the lowly people, and that particular quote really like struck me. That
Yes.
there is odor coming out like from this quote unquote low people who are
Low
not
and
following
lowly,
Dhamma.
yeah.
Yeah. So now the word, like when you look at it, I am SC and I'm Buddhist, and my work as a lawyer involves dealing with a lot of other Dalit people because I give them legal representation. And sometimes I feel that they are living lives in a way where they are misleaded. Of course, there is a lot of ignorance, they do not know the Dhamma.
Yes.
But when I am interacting with them and I'm giving them, like saying, say for example, I'm getting them bail, how I sometimes have this moral conundrum, like am I like letting them, like giving them freedom to continue to do wrong and foolish things, or is that like their freedom? Like sometimes I'm afraid, like of, like of like my work itself. So how do I like how, does this also mean like I am like interacting with people of like who are like going to turn me into evil, is my question.
I did not get properly your question. Uh, but yes, what I understood when you asked about is about the people we met. They are of different belonging to different coming from different situations and different circumstances, I think.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so they may be like criminals. Some are there, some are ignorant, and so they are criminals, and some are purposely becoming ignorant criminals. You know.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, these are the things. It affects us
Yes.
if we are not strong enough in our thoughts.
Correct.
I'll give you an example of myself. See, I was a lawyer, very well.
Yes.
So I was also going to police stations and court with for handling the cases and all. So I was very comfortable in handling that cases according to the law.
Yes.
But after taking the robes and when I did Vipassana, once a time came when my tickets were did not reach to me, so I have to give an NC. I have to file an NC in the police station so that I can be allowed to travel in the train without the tickets. Okay, because I had the PNR number and all. So I went to the police station and I felt that atmosphere in the police station is affecting me. I felt that. What we say about the vibrations.
Yes.
The things which are going around, it's just we become so sensitive by this Vipassana and the Buddha's teaching that we try, our body and mind start absorbing at once.
Yes.
Earlier, it was not that.
Correct.
Okay, so I started sensitizing that, everything, and then my thought came in my mind because I did my Vipassana. I am having this kind of feelings. So I should let go all this thing, let not overpower all what is happening around me on my mind.
Correct.
Correct. Okay? So we have to become very strong enough.
So
That is
my
what.
thing
Huh.
is, say for example, even yesterday I went to police station, and that police person hit someone right in front of me. So obviously that energy, I'm also someone who practices vipassana, so I realized that, police, that entire station ka vibration. But I also have, like, while I follow my Buddhism, I also have my principles. Like, I also come from that background where I believe in justice, because I can't just leave everything and do only vipassana, right? So I have to engage with the world. And of course the challenge is to stay that way, stay sensitive, and witness it and allow that to, like, without it turning me poisonous as well. Like, that would be a challenge. I'll have to figure out how to keep that going. But my question is, like, how do I engage with that? Because that is my work also. That is my work to help people not be go through that. Because what is the point of all of my Buddhism if I cannot, like, help someone who is ignorant and who is at the crossfires of law, and people are brutally treating them? So what is the purpose of my dhamma if I can't, if I'm saying, chi, I don't want to see this, and I go away? So that is my this thing as well. So when this line came up, so I was like, no, but you can't keep saying this is stinky and this is kachada, and then just walk away to, like, purer places, because that's exactly what Brahmins do.
Yes, I'm proud of you, Mrudula. You're thinking on this point.
No, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Really. When I say we should not let overpower your mind, that is the situation.
Yes.
Okay? But the law is with us. Without letting them overpower us, we have to fight with the law, with
Yes.
law in our hand,
Yes.
we are fighting for the justice.
Absolutely.
So we have to do that. Where Buddha says, if you are doing wrong, it's really bad. But if you're allowing to do wrong is also bad. This
Yes.
is the Buddha's teaching.
Absolutely.
Okay? Absolutely. Yes. So there is a conflict here for the Vipassana people. They don't understand things what you are thinking now. In this way, when we understand the real Vipassana with the Buddha's teachings, then we are ready to get the justice and fight for justice for others too. Another example I would give you. See, when I took my rose, my friend from Chennai was with me, Umanathan, and he was only forcing me to go for Vipassana. In 2006 January, I did my first Vipassana in Chennai. That time I went with him, and I found that the place of going to that meditation hall was through a kitchen. So people have to take off the chappals outside the kitchen, and the chappals were taken in hand by the Dalits, the people who were working there. They used to take the chappals of the so-called high caste people to the other side through the kitchen. They were not holding their own chappals with them. So it hurt me how they are treating some people in such a way. If you are a Vipassi, if you are doing such a kind of good meditation there, you should know that your chappal, you should hold it and take it to other side. Why asking others? Because they are low, they are ignorant in your they are low. They are not saying that they are ignorant, they are saying that life is low, their caste is low, they have the to do their duty which is very low, so they it is their duty, they should do it, it's not our duty. And asking them to do my duty, it's something wrong, where we are not really following the Buddha's teaching, even though we are doing the vipassana. So this was one thing I mentioned that time, and I said that this I'm not in favor of this kind of things. The same day after finishing my vipassana, I was there at the station, and I asked my friend that if something happens in this platform, that one person is in need of a doctor, do we not have to call the doctor because he is in need? Or should we ignore? Obviously, if we are sensitized person, we know the Dhamma, we know humanity. We have to do what we can do. It's not, Vipassana does not teach ignoring people or the situation which is not coming under humanity.
Yes.
Yes. So we have to do our duties. This is what in last chapter also we had learned about the Sudatta asking Buddha that, do I have to become a monk? Do I have to become a bhikkhu to get have a righteous path in my life? And Buddha says no. So being a human being, as a family member or a lay people, we can do our duty by living on a righteous path and help humanity and do good what we can do.
Yeah. Thank you, Panteji. That was very suiting
Yeah.
perspective.
Thank you, Mrudula. I'm really proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
If anyone
I
else
think
has questions,
only 4 people are here.
okay. If no one has questions, we can end it.
Thank you.
Panteji.
Thank you. Take care. Jai Bhim, everyone.
Jai Bhim.